Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Allen. I'm the president of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op, and would like to welcome you to our 2025 Board Election Forum, where you, as member owners of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op, get to exercise your voice in selecting the leadership to take our co-op into the future. Just a couple of reminders for those that are with us in the meeting. Go ahead and keep your mics muted. And if you have any questions or anything that you want to share, please do that through the chat, and we'll get to that as quickly as we can. Before we get started, I want to share with you something that we do at every board meeting for KCFC, and that is to read and reflect upon our mission statement. So I'm going to take a moment and read that mission statement. I don't think we'll do our reflections this time, but I just want to share that with everyone so that they can think about what keys off in their mind as they hear this mission. So the mission of the Kitsap Community Food Cooperative is to connect our local community with quality food, products, and access to information that promote a healthy future for our families and our planet. Together, we work toward a world where mutually beneficial relationships exist between producers and purchasers. The Kitsap Community Food Co-op is a business, and it's a business that's owned by the people that leverage it and benefit from it, as well as the broader community. So when we think about a business with a mission statement like that, you already know that we're something different. And we are grateful to have our board members that are here, as well as our candidates for the board, to help take that vision and that mission to the next level. So let's talk about our board of directors for a moment. The board of directors are elected democratically by you, the member owners. They serve as your representative for the co-op, and they are entrusted with your investment into the co-op because you are an owner of this business. They provide oversight in the overall operations of the co-op, including fiduciary responsibilities. They draft policy, make long-range strategy align with our mission, and assist in facilitating the work of board committees. Specifically, this board has been working very hard over the last couple of years, primarily to keep the operations of our tiny little store in downtown Bremerton sustained. Recently, our board just passed a resolution that we realize that the future of our co-op lies with expanding into a bigger place. And so this new board that we're seating through this election is going to be tasked with that job of identifying and doing all the preliminary work to find a new location for our store so that we can grow, expand, and continue to serve our community. The people that have been doing this work so far deserve a great round of applause. So if you're watching this video, please pause for just a second and clap your hands for our current board. In addition to myself, David Albright, our vice president, has been with us since, David, correct me if I'm wrong, but you joined the board in 2020 or 2019. Our other co-vice president, Heather Hetty Pugh, joined the board last year, and her term expires in 2028. Wendy Pond, our treasurer extraordinaire and dedicated volunteer as well as board member. If you've been into the store, chances are you've run into Wendy. This is her last year on the board after she's been working with us since prior to our little pop-up store opening, then leading to our current location. And so big kudos go out to Wendy for the work that she's been doing over the last several years. Ashley Martinez, owner of Ashley's Pub. We love to have business owners on our board. Ashley has been serving as our clerk since 2022, and this is her last year on the board. And then we've got three other board members. James Duffy, the youth of our board. He's really our youth voice and great idea man that's helping us out with a lot of different projects over the last year. He joined our board last year. And I believe Allison is with us, But Allison Loris was one of the original board members of the food co-op back in 2008, and she joined us last year to help us move on to the next step. Another business owner in downtown Bremerton. If you have been to Volca's Mediterranean Market, you know you've met Allison. And finally, Greg Stanek. Greg joined our board last year. He has been he's done an amazing job over the last year. And one of the projects was to call, I don't know what the number is, Greg, but I'm going to say somewhere well over 100 member owners that he personally has reached out to, called, talked about the co-op, got feedback from them, and shared that with the board. Greg is also a business owner here in Bremerton, along with his wife. They own Frog Soap in downtown Bremerton. So this is our current board. I want to say big thank yous, particularly to Wendy and Ashley and Allison, as they will be leaving the board this year. So how do we do this? Our board election. So our board election process is defined by our bylaws. Our bylaws allow for a 10-member board. If we are at below 10 members, we also can appoint board members. And in fact, we can have even more than 10 board members through a temporary appointment process if necessary. Currently, we have 8 members on the board, with 3 of those members leaving. And today, we are announcing 4 candidates for our board. After this evening's presentation or board forum, an online ballot will be sent out to each member owner, giving them the opportunity to cast their vote for our candidates for the board. That will happen at about 7 o'clock this evening. The election week goes from this evening, Sunday, August 17th, till next Sunday at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., August 24th. Terms are typically 3 years in length, but board members can adjust the length of their term for various reasons, including ensuring that we have some balance in the board and continuity, such that we don't have 9 board members' term expiring at the same time. Okay, so let's get into a conversation with our new board candidates. We have Greg Moynihan. Greg, wave to us. I think people can see you. Uh, Laura Havard is not able to join us, but she's going to have a short video that we'll hear from her. Rebecca Humphreys, Rebecca wave if you're on the screen, and Tara McGinty. So what we're going to do this afternoon is give each board member 3 to 5 minutes to share who they are, why they think the Kitsap Community Food Co-op is an important component of our community, and what they want to contribute to it. Uh, Afterwards, if we have time and if we have questions, we'll give an opportunity for member owners to pose questions to the board members, the board candidates, and they will have about 1 minute each to respond to those. So, with that said, let's go ahead and I'm going to turn the presentation off. And let's start with our presentation of board members and our board candidates. And our first one this evening is Greg Moynihan. Greg, I'm going to highlight you on the screen so everybody can see you.
Hi, thank you very much. I want to say a little about me. For my day job, I work in Seattle at the Allen Institute, where we do scientific research and give it to the scientific community globally for free in the hopes of advancing humanity and finding cures and good work like that. The co-op is I just think people give are at their best when they're giving to their fellow man. And I moved to Bremerton in 2007 because I loved the friendly, vibrant little community with easy access to some of the best features of the country and the outdoors, as well as the resources of a major city close by. I was already a believer in the slow food movement and a fan of Joel Salatin when I arrived, and I bought my first home in Bremerton, and I started a family here. I put a deep freeze in my basement for beef and pork that came from Minder Meats. And I joined a CSA so I could pick up weekly produce at CJ's market. And it seemed that Bremerton to me was a bit of a food desert. And yet I saw a lot of potential for growth in just maybe a locally owned food co-op with a retail grocery store operation. My partner at the time and our friends and I lobbied for legalizing backyard chickens. And after that fun work succeeded, we focused on starting the Bremerton Food Co-op, putting on fundraising events, signing up members, establishing um, the website, the logo, and commissioned a feasibility study. I stepped away from the co-op just after my son was born, and now he's old enough to drive. So as he's stepping towards the edge of the nest, I am happy to see the co-op has succeeded in establishing a store, and I'm excited to get back into this community project. And I'm hoping to help out in any way I can. I have let's see, I love the idea of growing membership through outreach and specialty events, such as recipe swaps and cooking demonstrations, or I guess what I'm saying is I have a flair for events, really. I did a lot of theater and production in earlier days. And yeah, I'd like to be involved in expanding cross-promotional relationships with other local businesses and setting up fun seasonal events such as, cider presses or pumpkin carving, maybe, bicycle club meetups or neighborhood bluegrass jams. And another activity I really enjoy is paddling and water sports. So maybe a paddleboard flotilla fundraiser would be a blast to put on some of our local waterways. And so that's all I have to say for now, and I hope to work with you more.
Right on, Greg. Thank you very much. And we'll suspect we'll have some more questions later on. Next up is Laura Havard. And as I mentioned, Laura was not able to join us this evening. So I do have a short video that I'll put up onto the screen for everybody to watch. So here is candidate Laura Havard.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Havard, and I have decided to throw my name in the hat for the treasurer position. And I wanted to give you a little background about myself. We have lived in Kitsap County for the almost 5 years now, and I own my own bookkeeping firm where I help small businesses and nonprofits with their finances and their cash management and help them streamline processes and make informed decisions about their finances. Um, and I wanted to join the Kitsap community, uh, the food co-op, and because I felt it was something important for the community and our farmers and keeping be able to keep things local within our community and economy. And I also believe in educating the community in regards to eating healthy and fresh produce. And I wanted to serve on the board just because I feel that I have the experience to I just wanted to contribute my experience of financial management, and be able to support the co-op's mission in that sense. And sorry, it's one of my little ones. Um, and I believe in what the co-op does, and I'm committed in to build strong relationships with our community members and build trust with them and offer transparency with um, our finances and help the co-op basically thrive and be able to make informed business decisions as far as the finances go. And well, I hope you consider my vote.
All right. Oh, and next up, and let's see here. There we go. Next up is Rebecca, also known as RJ Humphreys.
Thanks, Jeff. Hey, everyone. I'm Rebecca Jane Humphreys. You can call me Rebecca or RJ. Thank you so much for having me here today. And thank you for this chance to apply for a spot on your board. Some of you I already know personally, and some at my board meeting as a guest via Zoom. So thank you. I'm really grateful to be part of this conversation. I want to especially thank Wendy and Heather for their encouragement and for taking the time to answer my questions. So about me, I am originally from Seattle, and I made the leap over to Kitsap about 8 years ago. For my day job, I'm a non-technical project manager for Microsoft. I am also a Kitsap Stream Steward volunteer, and I'm currently a part-time student in product management at the University of Washington. So for me, moving to Kitsap was one of the best decisions of my life. My first home here was in Manette, and now I live in Southworth. If you don't know where that is, it's like where you take the ferry to West Seattle from. So it's rural South Kitsap, but I'm still very connected to the communities in Bremerton and Manette. But living out here, I am living among small working farms and local producers, and which is such a special thing. And it has led me to get obsessed about local food, especially humanely raised meat and dairy farm 2 miles down the road from my house. And I've gotten lamb from my neighbors and duck eggs and local wine, and all without setting foot in a grocery store, which is amazing. And that's great. But even in Kitsap, most people cannot just walk down the street and buy their food like straight from the farmer. And that's why we need the co-op, obviously. So I was living in Manette when the co-op first opened, and I was super excited. But after kind of moving away and not being right there and like kind of far away, it has not been super top of mind for me, to be clear, especially after moving further out of town. But then a few months ago, I was doing a research project in online grocery shopping as part of my product management course. And Wendy was really kind enough to take the time to answer some of my questions. I wanted to expand our research conversations beyond huge corporate chain e-commerce models, right? Like, I don't care. We know what they do. I don't care. I wanted to understand the role of online shopping for other food retail models. And so that's how Wendy and I got reconnected and realized we'd gone paddleboarding together before. And so really brought the co-op back to top of mind for me again, and got me thinking about what are the next steps for the organization and how I might be able to be involved. I think it's important to have voices from all across Kitsap County kind of involved with this, and especially folks who live a little further out but still believe in what the co-op is doing. And I'd like to see it succeed as both as a neighborhood grocery store and a regional resource, which I think is the goal of everyone. So based on what I'm hearing, I know it's a really exciting moment because the co-op's looking for a new location. That's huge. I think that will open up so many possibilities. A bigger space in a welcoming neighborhood where people feel safe will be huge, I think, in terms of bringing more customers and revenue. So here's how I hope I can help. Like I said, I'm a project manager at Microsoft. Professionally, I've also worked in nonprofit development and in real estate and a lot of digital marketing. I mentioned I'm a Kitsap County stream steward, so I deeply care about the health of our local ecosystems because they're so important to local food production. And I hope that all of that will give me a good foundation to support the co-op as you're going through the transition. I hope I can help ask the right questions, build consensus, keep things moving along, and keep focus. So I do have a few ideas of new things to try at the co-op, but if I'm lucky enough to join the board, what I really want to do first is listen. I have a lot of questions. I want to hear what's been tried and how did it work and what do people really want? I want to understand what members are asking for and what's needed most, before I jump in with my bright ideas. So there's a lot ahead of us, a lot of great opportunities, and probably a lot of really hard work. And I would be honored to join in with that. So thank you for your consideration. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Let's move on now to our last candidate, Tara McGinty.
Thanks, Jeff. And hi, everyone. My name is Tara McGinty, and I am a certified health education specialist. I have a master's in public health with a concentration in food systems, and have been working in the field of public health, nutrition, and health equity for about 8 or 9 years now. But prior to my time in public health, I had a background in small scale agriculture and even several years of experience working with the co-op. Back in 2008 or 2009, I was living in rural Colorado and I was farming out there and started a food co-op with a group of friends and farmers, which quickly grew to a membership of about 120 or 130 people. And I worked with that co-op for about 5 years from beginning till I moved back with my family to my hometown of Portland, Oregon. And I learned a lot during that time. I served on almost every role on the board, and I also acted for a short period as the general manager of the store. So I feel like I have a lot of experience in the food co-op world and learned a lot of lessons during that time that I think could be applicable here. I see a lot of similar trends from my time in the co-op and what I see in the Kitsap Community Co-op. I moved with my family to Bremerton about 3.5 years ago with my 2 children and my husband and my 2 dogs. And I love Bremerton. I think I heard someone else say that moving to Bremerton was the best decision they had ever made, and I feel the same way. I so deeply love the community that I've made here. And I also really love the food co-op. It was one of the first businesses that I visited after moving to Bremerton, and I was so glad to see that it existed here. And over the last few years, as I've gotten to know Bremerton and as I've gotten to know the food co-op, some of what I've seen is, one, a community, a really wonderful, caring, inviting community of people who are open-minded and dedicated to supporting one another. People who share a common value of supporting the local economy, supporting local agriculture, independent business, trying to help create alternative to the big box grocers that we see all around us. And also a dedication to bringing really good food to the community. And I've made some really great connections through the co-op and would love to see it continue to grow and thrive. But another thing that I have seen in the time that I've been here is a little bit of a disconnect between the community of the co-op and the greater Kitsap County area. And I think it's been really interesting to notice how many people I see who are traveling across the county to places like Paulsbo or Silverdale, or even maybe traveling down to Gig Harbor to get their local food or their healthy food or their fresh produce. And I'm really curious to learn more about why. And so I think as a member of the board, that would probably be one of my biggest interest areas. Something I would really focus on, and I know that other board members have been thinking a lot about that as well. I know that Greg has been very dedicated over the last year to doing a lot of member outreach and learning more about what members are wanting to see in the co-op. And I would really love to build on that, some of that momentum. One of my greatest takeaways in my previous experience with the food co-op, and I actually have presented on this a handful of times at public health conferences, is the value of centering community voice in planning and decision making, and expanding business. And I think that as we move forward, we have this kind of foundational group of folks who are in the inner circle of the co-op, and we know what we want. And we have a vision, and we have all of these great ideas for what it can be. And then there's this whole other community outside who we don't know what they want or what they vision or what they need. And so I would really love to kind of help bring those groups together and learn more if we want to expand and we want other people to come and shop at the co-op to really learn more about what they would like to see. So as a board member, I think I would be able to bring a lot of my background and experience with agriculture, with food systems, with intervention planning, and also previous experience running a co-op. And I would really like to dedicate a good deal of my time to helping to understand the community that we live in and the systems that are around us and how we can work better within it. I'm really excited to continue to see this co-op grow and kind of find its stride, and super, super excited at this idea of a new building and a new space. Feels like the beginning of a next chapter, and I would be really honored to get to be a part of that chapter. So thanks everyone for considering my nomination.
Right on. Thank you very much, Taryn. Thank you very much to all of our candidates. As you can see, we've got some amazing people currently on our board, and we've attracted some pretty amazing people that want to join the board and exercise their passion to further the mission of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op. We have just a couple of moments left, but I do want to honor, we do have a couple of member owners that have joined the meeting. And so I do want to give the opportunity for anyone that has a question for the candidates to pose that question. And again, each candidate will get up to a minute to give a response to that if they'd like to. So Kevin, I know you got a question in your head, so. But your microphone is muted.
No, I'm currently trying to think of a question, so
Okay.
don't pass me right now.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, do any board members have a question for our candidates as well?
I do.
Go ahead, Allison.
This current board started out with a full slate of 10 for the first time in a while, which was thrilling. But a number of people discovered that it was not working for them, that they didn't have the time and energy that being on a board required. And in my case, I was able to serve 1 year, but I didn't resign earlier, but I'm not in it for the long haul. The same thing, time and energy. So I'll just ask all of you candidates to consider very seriously, if you're up for a 3-year term. It sounds like all of you have had some experience directly or maybe in Greg Moynihan's case, indirectly, with the demands of being on a board. I just ask you all to consider it, whether you're in it for the long haul. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Allison. Kevin, sounds like you have a question.
What I guess not really a question, maybe a thing of encouragement. I'm a past board member and I built the bathroom. So that's what I like to tell people.
It's ADA compliant.
Yeah. Anyways, being on the board and I was on for a long time and doing stuff. It was one of the best things I've done in my life, and it's a really great way to build up this awesome community that two of you said you'll absolutely love. And I'd say that again too. So like Allison said, it was a huge time commitment. It's awesome. Awesome members like Marie and I are always available to fix the loose sink or anything like that. But I'm really excited about a new location, something bigger that I know it's close to me, but let's not me be selfish. If it needs to move somewhere farther where there's more traffic and traffic flow, I'll go to the co-op. But it just letting you know, I totally will never ever regret being on the board of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op. So thank you for volunteering. Anyways, I don't really have a question. You guys are awesome.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. And if those of you that have been around the co-op for a while and have seen somebody twirling a sign around the side of the highway or at the ferry terminal, that was Kevin. So yeah, he's done it.
Yeah, I'm really good at it. Last night I got about 300 people to dance in the KEXP's gathering space. It was awesome. So yeah, I'm the energetic person. If you need a sign twirler or somebody to put on a cucumber outfit or anything like that, that's me. So, okay, bye.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, so our next steps for you, the member owners of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op, it's time to vote. At about 7 o'clock, 7:30, depends on how fast we can get this up, you will begin to receive an email with your online ballot. And if you did not get a ballot, and we'll make sure we share this out widely, reach out to us at info@kitsapcommunityfood.coop, and we'll make sure we get that rectified. The election results will be announced on Facebook on Sunday evening, August 24th. And again, we will be posting the recording of this meeting both on the website as well as on our Facebook page. Upcoming events we want to make sure that you're aware of. First of all, our next KCFC board meeting takes place Wednesday, August 27th at 6 p.m. at Ashley's Pub. We have our monthly meeting, and all member owners, any community member is welcome to attend those board meetings, and we always provide opportunity for visitors to our board meeting to share their thoughts and ideas and contribute to a part of it. Secondly, the next big event will be taking place on September 21st, and that is our annual members meeting, where we will share with you an update of what's gone on in the past year and our thoughts for the coming year, as well as an opportunity for you all to meet and chat with all of your board members. So again, I want to say thank you to all of our candidates for joining us this evening. Thank you to all of our current board members that joined us this evening. The Kitsap Community Co-op, Food Co-op is a special thing and a special part of this community. As many of you have mentioned, or many folks mentioned this evening, came to Bremerton over 30 plus years ago, and I have not regretted it the least. This is the best decision, or I say decision, or cosmic dominoes tumbled and landed me here, but I am internally grateful to be here, in part because of the community that I found through the Kitsap Community Food Co-op. And I'm sure you could say the same. So again, keep your eyes open for your ballot in the email that will be coming out shortly. And again, thank you to all of our candidates for joining us this meeting. And thank you for your support of the Kitsap Community Food Co-op. If you haven't been down to the store, by the way, get down there and shop some more. We love to have you there. We love to visit with you. Take care, everybody, and thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.